I can do a quick one in the meantime. I'll just show you guys the time zone menu at least. Okay. So we finally released time zone conversion to all clients. It's just going to show up as so behavior stays the same as it was before, but if users want to do conversion, they can set the database time zone and the query time zone on their connection. Database time zone tells us what their database is set to, so it should generally be UTC, except sometimes specific for Snowflake, or who knows if someone has something weird going on. And then query time zone will default to do not convert, but if you set that to something else, then we'll set the session time zone when we make a connection to the database to be equal to that value, and then any column that doesn't have a time zone associated with it will be explicitly converted from the database time zone to the query time zone. So if you have like a date time in BigQuery or like a timestamp NTZ in Snowflake, we'll do like an explicit convert. And if you have a time zone aware one, it should happen automatically based on the session time zone.
Uh,
Um, yeah.
Kathy, quick question. Will this change? I know that we had the thing where if you type in like in the past 1 day in filters, it was, I can't even describe what the behavior was because I don't actually know what time zone we were using for that. But how does this stuff impact that?
It should work based on whatever you set as your query time zone.
Okay. So in the
Uh,
past 1 day is always going to be using query time zone.
That's right, it should. I mean, you can
Okay.
check, but like the
No, no,
the
that's
point
good.
being that like the current time zone, which is like a function in most of the dialects, um, that the value of that depends on whatever is in the session. So before we had been setting it always to UTC, so current time zone was always the current or current time was always the time in UTC, and so the day was based off of that. But now the day should be based off of whatever is set as the query time zone.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, and this will also, if you set this and you have timestamp TZ fields in Snowflake, we'll start converting those to LTZ and showing those in LTZ. Oh, and there's a field on the model. So if there's a particular field that's like a timestamp, no time zone type that you don't want converted, you can add convert TZ false in the model definition to like abort not, doing time zone conversion for that field. I think that's it. We should have some docs up soon. I wrote it up in GitHub, but I should go through the process of figuring out how to get that actually in the docs page.
Oh, Kathy, if you send me the GitHub link, I can convert it to.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks for writing it.
Do we need to put in the UI anywhere the query time zone then?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look into this. Um at the very least we could probably put it in the inspector. Like it's gonna be connection dependent, not user dependent. So
Right.
it's not gonna be so surprising for people, but at the very least, like if we could put it in the inspector and I'll just say like what the query
Yeah.
time
I'm
and
thinking more like we have had some like requests I know like just to show like in the dashboard like when did we execute the dashboard and stuff like that and having that probably needs to say like it relative to probably to when the I don't know. Like I actually just need to think about that some more, but we have some requests for like putting the timestamps on stuff.